Hi, my name is Mary. Today FM plays the best music in Lambasa. Today FM rocks.
My name is Thomas. I'm here in Nakasi and I like to listen to Today FM because it rocks.
My name is Milenia. Today FM rocks here in Singatoka.
My name is Alfriti and Today FM rocks here in Tavua.
My name is Mary Jane. I love listening to Today FM here in Ba. Today FM rocks.
My name is Ilay Tiambal and I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rock.
In the news tonight, FEO meets international standard for free, fair election. Election supervisor takes media troll to court. And public warned to refrain from opening parcels containing cocaine.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Smith.
The Fijian Elections Office meets the requirements of internationally accepted standards for free and fair elections. The Bangkok Declaration set one such international standard, which the FEO is adhering to in line with many other international election practices. Ritika Pratap reports the Bangkok Declaration on the Principles of Free and Fair Elections was promulgated in 2012, a follow-on from the 1992 declaration by the Interparliament Union.
The Elections Office has tested the Fijian electoral process and its systems against the Bangkok Declaration, and Supervisor Mohammed Sanim says the assessment shows they meet all the minimum requirements.
If you look at the declaration itself, there are various requirements in the declaration that EMBs, the Election Management Body, has to meet. There are certain requirements that external stakeholders have to meet, and to some extent I would say in Fiji they do meet it.
Speaking on FBC TV's For the Record show last night, Sanim says Fiji's laws have been developed based on the most current international election practices.
The 2014 Electoral Act is a very modern piece of legislation, and as you will note from the MOG report as well from 2014, the electoral system set out by the Electoral Act and the procedures actually complies with a lot of the international principles on the conduct of a free and fair election.
Meanwhile, Sanim says his office has had enough time to fine-tune its processes and procedures.
The more time you have, the better time you have to prepare. But we were prepared to conduct an election in from April this year, and as we have continued to grow into the year, the Fijian Elections Office has continued to refine the processes and procedures to ensure that the election is delivered in a more efficient manner.
If the Prime Minister does not advise the President to dissolve the Parliament by October 6th, then within the next 7 days, the President can automatically announce the writ of election. Ritika Pratap, FBC News.
Election Supervisor Mohammed Sanim is suing a self-exiled social media troll residing in New Zealand for $1 million for allegedly defaming him and his family on Facebook. Sanim is suing Shailendra Raju, a well-known anti-Fiji government former Fiji resident who now has deactivated his Facebook account, which has been used as a platform to cast a whole host of serious allegations against many prominent Fijians. Anna Ravulo reports.
It's this alleged defamatory post about Mohammed Sanim's family that has led to the voluntary shutdown of Shailendra Raju's Facebook page.
A couple of weeks ago, Mr. Shailendra Raju made some posts on Facebook, on his Facebook page, which had material on it that was not correct and was in fact defamatory, mostly attacking my upbringing, and as well as various other allegations regarding my family, etc. I decided to take the legal avenue that was available to me, and I'm taking a legal action on him for defamation.
Raj is a former political aide of Mahendra Chaudhry's Labour Party and Laisin Yangaras's SDL. The two former Prime Ministers were asked by FBC News to comment on Raj's character today, but both decided not to say anything in his defence. Raju was served a defamation notice at his Pulse Energy office at around 3 p.m. on the 29th of August at Mount Eden, Auckland, by a private investigator who took this photo of him as he served the notice.
He has to be served with a notice, which we duly complied with. We issued him a notice requiring him to issue an apology, as well as to remove the post, but the post was removed by Facebook, and he did not comply with the notice. Therefore, the next step is to issue a summons, which we have done now, and we will be serving him in New Zealand in due course.
Raju replied to FBC News queries today saying he will defend himself but has not commented on why he has now deactivated his account. He was also Sitiveni Rambuka's organizer and chaperone during Rambuka's recent campaign visit to New Zealand. Meanwhile, Saneem seems determined to take this issue all the way.
He has no right to question my upbringing or the livelihood of my father and our relations with the place and the people that we lived with. That's plain slander, and he will be taken to task for this.
Raju says he is yet to appoint a lawyer because former Labour Party member and lawyer Anand Singh has declined to represent him. The writ of summons is expected to be served to Shalendra Raju this week. Anna Ravulo, FBC News.
The Fiji First Party is thought to have finalised its candidates for the 2018 general election. Images captured today by FBC News outside the Fiji First Party head office in Suva this afternoon, showing some of the party's existing and proposedly some new faces that will be joining the list. With the party remaining tight-lipped about their candidates, it's likely these are just some of the people who will be contesting at the election. The Fiji First Party will be naming their final candidates on Wednesday. Concerns have been raised that people discovering brown packages containing cocaine washed ashore on various islands are opening the parcels. Police spokesperson Ananai Soro says more brown packets were discovered by people in the Asawas and Vanua this morning. However, they have received reports that some tried to open the parcels found in Vanua. Catherine Krishna reports the police have not confirmed the number of parcels found.
They say one of the concerns is people finding and opening parcels containing cocaine.
We urge members of the public not to try and open it because it is dangerous to do so. These are is cocaine in its purest forms, as we've mentioned before, so their safety is also our concern.
The police says the packages found today are similar to those discovered on the outer islands earlier.
Okay, as of this morning, we received information of more discoveries in the Yasao group and also in the Mbua area in Vanua. So our officers will be sent over to try and get the packages, and will be sent for analysis to confirm whether they are the same. But the packaging and everything is the same.
Director Defence Timothy Natuva says drug trafficking across our borders is a major concern.
That our young people are getting into drugs, we need information from the people themselves. And we need to work together. If people are not giving us information, we won't be able to face these challenges for the future.
Police says the parcels found will be brought to Suva for testing. To date, the police force has discovered more than 100 brown parcels from various maritime islands containing cocaine. Catherine Krishna, FBC News.
Further suspicions surrounding the establishment of the Grace Road Church here in Fiji have come to light after the arrest last month of the church founder Shinok Ju. Other than allegations of assault and confinement of some 400 of the church's followers, the Korean investigative documentary Unanswered Question also highlights money laundering and the pace in which Grace Road not only set up their business in Fiji, but also how since 2014 expanded their portfolio to some 60 restaurants and shops across the country. Still to come, more than $40,000 spent in carting water to the Asawas, and multi-million-dollar project to begin in Nambour next year. Details after the break.
Bula, neva ngo malakai leloma, ngo ngai nakas ondo magrong nambula FM, nambandua ena sere.
Hoya ubasit sai lambasa. Ya ndo talita ina warong ng Bula FM namba 2 na sere.
Guya do tumeli ako na tao no hinga toka. Talita kina na warong ng Bula FM namba 2 na sere.
Wana tunga ng Bula FM namba 2 na sere namba 1.
Na vengo fani na tao no singa toka. Kita ndo talita ka ng Bula FM namba 2 na sere.
Bula FM namba 2 na sere.
Water carting to the Maritime Islands due to the prolonged dry weather continues. The emergency water operation has seen 1.3 million litres of water already carted to affected areas in the Maritime Islands of the Western Division. Felipe Naikaso has more.
They're refilling the water tanks on these vessels before continuing their emergency water supply to the maritime islands affected by the dry weather.
One vessel will be departing for Bukama village and also one primary school there, Teddy village and Dalamu village. And another vessel will be departing for Waki.
Speaking from Yasawa to FBC News, Assistant Vice Principal of Yasawa North Secondary School, Sylvester Nightinavo, says the majority of their boreholes have dried up in the past months. However, he says that last week a government vessel carted water to Nadula Island, which also has 4 villages.
I believe that the water that was carted to us last week can last until the school holidays, because there is also a borehole that's left which we are using.
So far, 1.3 million liters of water have been carted to the affected areas, with $42,000 spent in the operation.
If the dry condition continues, maybe we will continue until 2 to 3 months.
This is the government vessel that has been cutting water to the maritime islands here in the Western Division that have been hit by the prolonged dry weather spell. The vessel can carry more than 120,000 liters of water in one trip and has so far made 6 trips. Felipe Naikaso, FBC News.
Work on the Fiji Muslim League's multi-million-dollar commercial project at their estate in Nambour Suva will begin next year. The league owns 55 acres of freehold land along Mid Road, which will be developed into a commercial and residential centre. Pranita Prakash reports.
The new development will consist of commercial lots and more than 80 residential and industrial lots.
Shopping centre, apartments, and of course residential and commercial lots. But that we hope to start next year, because we've already got the money approved from Islamic Development Bank, $24 million for the first phase. So we're starting that next year.
Hafizuddin Khan says they've also identified a new site to provide shelter to residents currently occupying the space at Mid Road.
So we're working with the government to relocate the squatters to Waindra, which is a site that we have given as Region for the people to go there. So we are in the process of doing all the lease work and all that.
Has the relocation started?
No, starting soon, but at the moment we're just doing the land work, preparing the land at Waindra for them to go.
The Fiji Muslim League confirms they are preparing the land at Waindra in Nosori for the displaced residents to move to. The new Nambour Centre, once completed, is expected to create close to 300 jobs. Pranita Prakash, FBC News.
154 passengers travelling the world in 23 days with the Swiss airline were in the country for a few nights. The passengers and 17-member crew took off from Canada and made their way to Japan as they visit 7 countries and 4 continents on a scheduled route. Felipe Naikaso with the story.
Welcoming the passengers who are on a historical flight around the world, with our country being the 3rd pit stop.
We didn't expect something like this. It was really surprised with all these flowers and with the warriors and all the nice people having us here in Fiji.
The passengers who are from Switzerland, Germany, Czech Republic and Austria were in the country for 2 nights.
We are all organized. We are going on a boat and we are going to swim. We are going to watch fish and all sorts of things.
This was also made possible by Air Pacific Travel Concept Fiji, who had invited the group to add Fiji to the destination during a trade show in Berlin last year.
We had one of the tour guides came like 2 days before the group actually arrived, and she was just impressed about Fiji, and she said that she will be definitely back with more groups, hopefully.
The group also left this morning for Sydney and will then visit Mauritius, Singapore and Dubai. Felipe Naikaso, FBC News.
The world should realize that if climate change is not managed now, it will ultimately affect the very survival of future generations. Speaking at the local conference of youth in Fiji, President Major retired Tiochi Konrote says Fiji has made progress in building a climate event helping to move the needle and protect the planet. Konrote says the conference aims to provide a national platform for young people advocating climate change to work towards an outcome document at this year's COP24.
We invested hundreds of millions of dollars in climate resilience and adaptation funding. We have taxed plastic bags to discourage waste. We've created innovative green funding and mechanisms to attract private sector investment and involvement. Because while the world negotiates to address climate change, here in the Pacific, we don't have a luxury of waiting.
In sports later with Jamie, Tavo football secures its spot in the Premier Division while Ndreketi gets relegated. But up next is Rachel with business.
Thanks, Jackie. Good evening, and coming up after the break. National Essay Competition encourages more saving and investing. And in growing Fiji, new Nepani subdivision to be available soon. Stay with us.
Lola, I am Eleanor. For the best classic hits, I only listen to Gold FM here in Singatoka. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Seni Rawa. I love listening to Gold FM here in Nosuri. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Dino. I'm from Outrigger, Coral Coast, Singatoka. I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Salote. I love listening to Gold FM here in Nosuri. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Bula, my name is Marida. Gold FM plays the best classics here in Outrigger, Singatoka.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Leading business tonight, in a bid to increase financial literacy among students, the South Pacific Stock Exchange organized a national essay competition. The underlying message for the 239 students who participated was that you don't have to be an adult to start investing and saving. 44 schools took part in the competition, which was divided into two categories for secondary schools. The first and second runner-ups were announced today. And we now join Sean from HFC Bank with the latest from the exchange market.
Let's review last week's trading on the South Pacific Stock Exchange. 7 of the listed stocks recorded market activity and price movements. Freebird Institute shares rose by 10 cents and ended the week at $3. Kinetic Growth Fund shares were up 4 cents to close at $1, while Fijian Holdings shares closed the week at $6.15, recording a 10 cents increase. As such, the overall market capitalization rose by 0.05% and ended the week at $2.66 billion. And that's the update from our local stock market. Vinaka.
Thanks, Sharon. Taking a look at the foreign exchange rate set this morning for the Fijian dollar. More talk of the Chinese-US trade difficulties over the weekend resulted in a mixed market. Our dollar gained against the Chinese yuan as well as the Aussie dollar, showing minor increases against the Kina and the euro, but slipped against the other currencies we cover. As for the commodities market, the price of oil continued downwards, closing at just below $69 a barrel. Gold was steady at $1,203 an ounce, and silver closed at $14.09 an ounce. And in growing Fiji tonight, the new Nepani subdivision in Nasinu will be available soon. Local government minister Praveen Kumar says once work on electricity and water is done, the subdivision is ready for the market. Kumar says the ministry is working with the housing authority to ensure it meets the housing needs of every Fijian. The subdivision, once completed, will have a total of 174 housing blocks.
I'm happy to announce that the works at the Nepani subdivision is almost completed. There are a few works that needs to be patched up, and on paper, Housing Authority has started selling the lots, and I'm hopeful that by end of November, we should give people the offer.
And that's business tonight. Jamie joins you now with sports.
Thank you, Rachel, and good evening. Up here in sports, Fiji Ndrua slips the second place on NRC table.
Hi, I'm Jyotishma. I'm from Singatoka. I love listening to Mirchi FM. Mirchi FM is hot.
Mirchi FM is #1.
I'm Charlene Robert. Mirchi FM rocks in Lambasa.
I'm Soname Nasori Jackson. Mirchi FM is hot.
My name is Raymond Dutt. I'm in Baba Singh Alliance. Mirchi FM is hot in Lambasa.
I'm Kritika from Jax Nasori. I love listening to Mirchi FM here in Nasori. Mirchi FM is hot.
Mirchi FM, it's hot.
The Fiji Airways Ndrua has slipped to second place after round 3 of the Australian National Rugby Championship After a convincing win over the Ndrua on Saturday, Queensland Country has moved up the leaderboard and is 3 points ahead of the Fijians. The Canberra Vikings are in third place with 9 points, while Melbourne Rising rounds up the top 5 with 6. The Ndrua takes on the Sydney Rays at 5 p.m. this Sunday in Sydney. The Canberra Vikings defeated the Western Force 29-19 in the NRC match last night. The Vikings ran in 4 tries to hand the Force its first defeat. It's going to be an interesting new season for the Fiji Airways Fijiana Sevens when the Women's World Series kicks off next month. Following the departure of Ilesa Tanivula, interim coach Alifereti Ndoviverata has put together an almost all-new squad to take on the new season. Ndoviverata aims to keep the side as one of the core teams of the series while raising the standards of the Fijiana Sevens. Meli Tavanga reports.
The new Fijiana players are coming in low-key and are presenting a bit of mystery to other international teams, which have no idea of their capability.
It's an advantage. I think the team in the series, they will be studying, looking at the past Fijiana team performance, and they'll be trying to look at the weaknesses and strengths. But for us, we've got a totally new team. Interim coach Alifereti Ndoviverata trusts his new set of players. For the forwards, I was looking at some height, and I've seen a few players, the backs as well. With the type of pattern that I want to play, I've selected those kind of players.
New player 25-year-old Melaya Matanatambu has praised the guidance of their trainer.
Our coach has been helping us a lot, especially with the new game plan he has in store. I've been doing all the hard yards to ensure that the selectors will be impressed by my performance.
The opening round of the Women's 7 Series will be held in Glendale, USA on the 20th to the 21st of next month. Meli Tavanga, FBC Sports.
It was a quiet weekend for Fijian players in the French top 14, with only 3 managing to find the try line for their clubs. Flying Fijians Kini Murimurivalu, Joshua Tuisova and Non Naikatadi all scoring for their clubs. However, not all 3 walked away with a win. Auckland continues its unbeaten run in the Mitre 10 Cup, defeating reigning champions Canterbury 34-29 in Christchurch on Sunday, their 5th consecutive win to start the Mitre 10 Cup. Not only did it shoot them to the top of the Premiership standings, it snapped a 5-year run without a win against Canterbury and was their first win in Christchurch since 2007. The Tavua football side will remain in the top division following its win over Nreketi in the last round of the Vodafone Premier League. The side defeated Nreketi 1-0 at Gavi Park yesterday, which sees the Northerners being relegated to the senior division after 2 years. Tavua ends the season with 12 points, while Nreketi finishes it with 8. Meanwhile, Lautoka retains the VPL title with 31 points, while Mba finished second with 26. Both teams have qualified for the OFC Champions League next year. In today's Play of the Day, Cristiano Ronaldo's first 2 goals for Juventus as the Italian champions maintain their perfect start to the season. Ronaldo, who was goalless in his first 3 games since moving from Real Madrid, tapped in shortly after halftime. That's it from sports tonight. Join Angie later on with weather. And in the world of the weird and the wonderful, check out the Centurion 1200 camper van, the luxury home on wheels. That's coming up.
Narang golesenya, Obama kita nakas, dorong-rong bin nakabe on Radio Fijian, nandomo ibit.
Ayaw benyana, ito barong on Radio Fijian, nandomo ibisi, hindi natoka.
Guado ilaisa ingatoka, rong-rong bin na heramakawa ina Radio Fijian ingatoka.
Radio Fijian, nandomo ibiti.
And it's weather time now with Angie.
Hello there and welcome to the Weather World. Hope you had a lovely weekend. There was some rain in the east, but the dry spell continued in the west with barely enough rain to keep the dust down. Sunshine is surely marveling everyone on this Monday. Checking the west out for today, sunshine was a beauty, quite humid and still needing rain. Eastwards from Peck Harbour to Suva, clear blue skies with very warm temperatures. And up in Vanuatu, another good deal of sunshine, a great day to beat the heat at Nakawanga Waterfall in Savu-Savu. At sea, east to southeast winds 10 to 15 knots, moderate seas. For the tides, high tide at 1:25 a.m. with low tide at 7:37 a.m. Sunrise at 6. For tomorrow, the day looks dry and sunny. Exciting, isn't it? Tomorrow's temps, most centers will stay at 30 degrees. And looking further on to Wednesday, hooray to more great sunny weather, but still no sign of needed rain for the west. That's all from the FBC Weather World. Jackie.
Thanks so much for that, Angie. In Fijian Pulse tonight, we asked, do you think a hotline will reduce the litter problem in Fiji?
Littering-free online, it's a good idea. People can call and report cases for littering.
Because the people will not throw the rubbish anywhere. We should put the rubbish in the rubbish bin.
Yes, I think the hotline will reduce the problem.
Yes, it's a good idea to reduce littering.
I do agree we should have a hotline dial free on where someone is throwing rubbish around the country, because it can be reduced, the number of littering around the country, and it also helps Fiji a better place to live in.
Recapping the main stories for tonight, FEO meets international standard for free fair election. Election supervisor takes media troll to court, and public warned to refrain from opening parcels containing cocaine. Now for these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. To our poll question segment last week, we asked, are we doing enough to conserve water during this prolonged dry spell? 82% said no. This week we're asking, do you think a hotline will reduce the litter problem in the country? Visit our FBC website to answer. Before we go, our shot of the day sent in by Dan on what's beginning to look like a beautiful day in the capital, and it sure was. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. You can also follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. That was the FBC News for tonight. From the team and I, have a safe and enjoyable new week ahead. Bye for now.
मैं नवनीत नंद नंबुआ लुम्बुआ से। जैसे प्रेनी नोट मशहूर है, वैसे रेडियो फीजी 2 भी सभी जगह मशहूर है। रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन।
सीमा नकाशी से मैं रेडियो फीजी 2 पसंद करती हूँ सुनने के लिए। रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन।
मैं हूँ अंकल किंग सिंगाटोका टाउन के टैक्सी ड्राइवर। जैसे रग्बी फेमस है, वैसे रेडियो फीजी 2 फेमस है।
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन।